Okay, good morning. Let's go ahead and start in all fours. Um, you're going to press all 10 of your finger pads down in the mat and try to allow your feet to just lay flat. And we're going to give a big circle of the hips. And if there's any place where you feel extra resistance or tension, feel free to kind of sit there for a second. We're just waking up the body. And then change directions. And then we're going to take ourselves back into a child's pose, pressing the tail through the feet rather. And then I want you to move into your modified swan. So round your back up and then press the hips forward and your pubic bone faces the mat. Yeah. Press away, round your back. We'll go into child's pose again. And we're not going to like really hang out in one of these places. We're just going to keep it moving. Press the hips forward, open the chest. Roll it back. And roll it forward. You can match the breath with whichever feels good. If you like an exhale on the push back, inhale on the forward, or vice versa. 2 more of those. And then go ahead, flip the body around onto your back. Okay, we're going to take a nice rock of the knees side to side. Okay, we're going to wake up the brain a little bit. Let's bring the hands to the ceiling. Your feet are still flat. I want you to pick up your left foot, reach your right arm over, and tap the knee with your right hand. And then come back down. March the other side, reach and tap across your body and down. And picking up the head every time. We're going to breathe out and down. Breathe out and down. Breathe out and down. One more each side. And then plant the hands right by your hips, open shoulders. We're going to tuck the tail to our little pelvic tilt here. So you're going to rock your pelvis backwards so that the space under your low back kind of presses into the mat. And then rock your pelvis forwards so that you're pressing your tail down. Maybe you have a slight arch in your back. Keep rocking from north to south, hopefully feeling a nice massage of your sacrum, that flat, wide bone at the base of your spine. Often, I don't know about you, but as someone with chronic low back pain, this is like an area that can be super cranky in the morning. So a little gentle wake up would be really nice, get the blood flowing. And then we're going to add again a march, but with the tuck of the tail. So you're going to roll your tail backwards and then pick up one knee. You're kind of deep into that pelvic tuck. And then release it, go into a slight arch, tip your tailbone away from you. Exhale, tuck your tail, roll to the north side of your sacrum, pull the other knee in, and then let the whole thing open. And again, tuck and down. And then if it feels okay when you march, as you tuck your tail, you're going to go ahead and pull that knee into your chest with both hands and release down. If it doesn't feel great on your head and neck, then you can get rid of this part. And we're just really rounding, kind of making ourselves as rounded as we can in this position, closing that space between the rib and the hip. Good. I'll march and pull. Good. One more each side. Great. Okay, now find a position where you feel really even so that neither the top nor the bottom of your sacrum is extra pressing. So you have equal weight across your sacrum. Then you're going to pick up one knee and then the other, trying to maintain that feeling of a wide released sacrum and low back, fingertips to the ceiling. And we're going to make the backs of the rib cage just really extra heavy into the mat, like you're trying to leave an imprint in the mat. Reach one arm and leg away, opposite arm and leg, into dead bug. Exhale, bring it back to center. Again, reaching arm and leg. Exhale, back to center. Keep sinking the back of your ribs. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, reach. Love it. 2 more each side. Amazing how much work can be found in the stillness of the torso. And then go ahead and let's take the knees. You can either bring your knees wide and do a rock as your desired recovery pose. Another option could be to put the feet down and make them wide and just swivel your knees side to side. That can be a little more of a hip opener. Okay, we're going to bring the feet back in line with the sitting bones. And now we're not going to roll up into a bridge. We're just going to press up in one straight piece. So push the feet down, tip the hip up, trying to make that straight line from your hip to your thighs. And then tap your bum down, squeeze and lift. All 10 toes, by the way, are spread and pressing on the floor. Tap the tail and lift. Let's go 6 more times, breathing. I like to exhale on the press up. You can always inhale on the press up, but please do something. Please breathe in a direction. 4, 3, 2, and then 1. I want you to hold it up there. Press those heels down into the mat and really drag them towards you. So you may not physically move, but you'll feel a little waking up in the backs of the thighs. And then we're going to do a little steering wheel with the hips. So you're going to rotate your hips like a steering wheel to one side and bring it back to center. Rotate your hips to the other side. So if you had a bowl of soup in your lap, you'd be kind of pouring it off to the left and then pouring it off to the right. But you see my shins are pretty much staying still. So we're using the hips to move around the legs while the legs are still in space. It doesn't have to be a big motion. It often takes a little bit of the brain figuring it out. Still trying to stay lifted off the floor here. Keep digging those heels back and towards you. Take your last twist. And then from here, take a sip of air at the top. And then use your exhale to massage down through the spine as much as you can. Let's do that again. Press straight up. Pull the heels in towards you. Take an inhale. And then use your exhale to melt the spine down. See if you can figure out the moment at which each bone lands in the ground. Maybe there's like a certain section that's sticky. We'll do 2 more like that. Inhale up. Use the exhale. Roll it down, down. Find each bone. You might need to really tuck in order to get that last bit down. Last one. Inhale. Noticing when the bones meet the floor and what you can control and can't control. And then again, taking a rock side to side or bringing your knees into your chest, whatever feels good. We are going to grab onto the backs of the thighs and roll up for a half roll back. My body. Hands behind the thighs, and then pull your rib cage towards your thighs so that you're really upright on your sitting bones. We'll take a little prep here, tuck the tail, just like you did in your bridge, but now your relationship to gravity is different, and you're rolling backwards behind your sitting bones until the arms get straight, and then come right back up onto your sitting bones again. Tuck your tail, roll behind, and then right your pelvis back to vertical. Ribs are pressing towards the thighs. Again, tucking your tail, feeling how the core has to kick in to control the fall, and then back to start. And you can take your knees as wide as you need to here to feel comfortable. If it's available, go ahead and let go of your thighs the next time. Bring the arms forward, and we're going to do a little twist. Turn and look at one arm, back to center. Turn and look at the other, back to center. Keeping your tuck of your tail, you're still behind your sitting bones. If you get really grippy in the hips, you can rock your knees out. You're going to take one more each side, please. And then go ahead and sit all the way up. Straighten the legs out. Sit up high in the sitting bones, shoulders or arms at shoulder height and shoulder width. Take a big inhale, lengthening through the spine, and you're going to tuck your tail again to start the motion backwards. This time we're going all the way. And I want you to again bring that awareness of when each bone grabs the mat. See if you can control so it's one at a time. Your arms will go to your ears. And then make sure to press the rib cage kind of down so you get that feeling of sinking in your thoracic. And then you're going to curl up and look at your feet with an inhale. Now, option to dig your heels in. Exhale as you come up. The roll up is like our hardest thing. So you can always take that little extra kickstand help until you feel that it's comfortable to go all the way down with straight legs, which honestly, first thing in the morning, not always possible anyway. Remember to inhale as you prepare, exhale to come up. And I happen to prefer a position of wide legs. Feel free to bring your feet close together. And this is just about you and your breath. So you're going to come down to paying attention to each bone. You're going to use your inhale. Your exhale is that power to get up. Another sip of air at the top. Use your exhale to come down with control. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale up. Take one last reach, and then we're going to roll down and you're going to stay down. So we're going to tuck the tail, bone by bone, still controlling through the spine. And then just let your arms, your feet, and your fingertips reach apart from each other, a really long line. Let's bring the left thigh in, hold on with both hands. We're going to circle. We're going to prep for our single leg circles here. And then circle that side the other way. Take the opposite arm, in this case the right arm, across the thigh, and you're going to twist yourself into a corkscrew, look over your shoulder. Hopefully you feel a little hip stretch, maybe a back stretch, and you can adjust the angle of your thigh to get more out of it. Take a nice deep 360-degree breath into this, and then exhale. Rock yourself onto your back, straighten the leg to the ceiling. Let's flex and point that ankle. And then you're going to go side to side as if your foot is shaking its head at you. And then 3 big circles of the ankle. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. If it makes a little crunchy sort of sounds, it's okay. Other way. 3, 2, 1. And then one last pull towards you. And then hopefully you can let go and find something somewhat comfortable with your leg right over your hip. And we're going to go into circles here. So arms are heavy. Supporting leg is heavy. You may even kickstand that heel again. You're going to come across your body down. Use your exhale up to 12. You can keep a slight bend in your knee if that's more comfortable in the hip. We're going to go 3. Nice loud breaths to coming up. 4, 5, up to 12. Let's go the other way. Here we go. To the outside down. Zip up through the midline. Exhale 2. Exhale 3. Exhale 4. Exhale 5. You're going to flex that leg And then lower, 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 really reaching through the heel. And get as long as you can. Let's add the fingertips. And probably, hopefully, on one side now you're feeling a little longer than the other. So let's even it out. Get the other leg in your hands. We're going to circle that femur in the hip joint. A little passive motion to wake up the joint. And then the other way. And then take the opposite arm across, grab onto the outside of the thigh, pull yourself into a twist, look over your shoulder. Feel free to adjust the angle. And breathe. 360 degrees. We want to use every inhale as a chance to sort of turn our little searchlight inside and figure out where the body is holding tension. And so we can use the exhale to let it go. Rock onto your back. We're going to straighten that leg to the ceiling. And let's flex and point. See how that motion changes the experience of the stretch in your leg. Just really paying attention to where your body's at today, this morning. And then side to side. And then give me 3 big ankle circles. 3, 2, 1. Other way. 3, 2, 1. We're ready for the other side. Shoulders wide, heavy supporting leg. We're going to go across. Down, exhale, and up. Across. Down, exhale, up. Feel free again to kickstand that supporting leg so that you feel really anchored. We've got 2 more. And then we're going to go to the outside of the body and zip up over the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to flex that leg again, almost like you're trying to stand on whatever wall is in front of you. Really reach, add the fingertips. Almost feel like someone's pulling you from end to end, gaining an inch. And then just sink into the mat for a moment, filling up with breath. We want to always check in with the body, especially in the morning, because sometimes we wake up carrying burdens of the day before we didn't even know were in our body, in our cells. And we're going to move into our ab series here. So I'm going to have you pull one knee into your chest with both hands and extend the other leg off the mat. And then you're going to start to switch, pulling one in really tight, extending the other. So it's not like a floppy leg. Your leg is really pushing, like you're that, is it Pluto, the dog with the pointing legs in Looney Tunes? Now, if your neck starts to get a little tired here, you can always rest on a pillow or bring your hands to the back of your head instead. Important thing is to keep breathing. Very common to start holding the breath here. I call them smell the flowers breath. So I want them to come in through the nose nice and long. You're taking a whiff of something yummy. Let's go into double leg stretch now. You're going to inhale, reach both legs away. Exhale, pull them in. And if it feels more comfortable, you can take a wide knee pull. And then if you want to add arms, it'll level up the challenge here. You can do that on your reach. Again, always the option to grab onto the back of the head, support the head and neck, or to use a pillow. We do want to create, increasing opportunities for endurance in those neck and shoulder muscles. 3, 2, last one. Go ahead and rest and take a quick rock. We're going to go to lower and lift. Interlace the fingers underneath the base of the skull, and you're going to give yourself that little ab curl, taking care to make sure the weight of the head is dropped into the hands. Legs go up. A slight bend is fine. I do want your heels to connect. You're going to inhale both legs together like you're a mermaid with a big flopping fin, and then exhale, bring it up. Doesn't mean to go far to be work. Check in with the low back and sacrum. We want to try to release any tension, and keep it as wide and relaxed as you can. We want to put the work in the core and obviously in your hip flexors, which are doing things. We're going to do 4 more. Keep using that breath, a powerful exhale. 3 and 2 and 1. Beautiful. You can take your legs wide and do your recovery pose of a rock of the knees, or if you like to pull them in tight and do more of like a happy baby, either is fine. And then you're going to line your feet up. Let's go into a V foot here for your bridge. So heels are touching, toes are apart, shoulders wide. We're going to press straight up into our bridge. And we're going to tap and lift. Tap the tail, squeeze up. Tap the tail, squeeze up. Take a second to lift all 10 toes and then widen and flatten them on the mat. So you've got the whole part of your foot engaged. Let's go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Take it to the top, little pulses at the top. We're going to squeeze those heels together, pressing the tail up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, without dropping the bum, you're going to open your heels. So now you're in parallel. Tap and lift. Shoulders stay wide. Periodically check in with the neck muscles and jaw muscles. I notoriously grit my teeth when I'm in this position, so just check in. Maybe your eyebrows tend to get a little squished. Facial muscles are amazingly reactive. 3, 2, we are going to stay at the top. You're going to drag your heels towards you while 10 toe pads pressing down. We're going to pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2. If you can stand it, you're going to keep your hips lifted. We're going to now turn those toes out again. You might even go wider with your feet. So you're in a pretty wide second position here with your toes turned out. And then let's tap and lift. We're coming in on, we're almost a second to last here. 5, 4, 3, 2, press up and hold. We're going to pulse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One last position. Now you're going to take your heels out and your toes in. So now your thighs are kind of rotating towards each other. So it's not going to be as big. It's sort of hard to come up far in this position because your thighs are kind of locked in. Don't force it. Checking in with facial muscles and neck and shoulders again. Knees are reaching towards each other. 5, 4, 3, 2. Get to the top and hold little pulses. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And you can let it all the way down. Let's take that nice, whichever recovery pose you like, either swishing your knees or pulling your knees into your chest. And then let's also take a minute to reach the fingertips and toes and find that moment of stillness. A quick body scan from head to toe and where you might be carrying stress, anticipation, fear, guilt, things we tend to carry in our bodies. Take a big inhale. Maybe hone in on one and see if you can let it go. Bring the knees into your chest. We got ab series to finish. I have not forgotten. You're going to go into your single straight leg stretch or scissors. You're going to pull one straight leg towards you. The other one is hovering. And then we switch. Feel free to take the pulse from your classical, that's your prefer. Again, you also have the option of pulling hands behind the head to support the neck, or using a pillow or small ball. And it's not a rushed thing, right? Because we're trying to make sure that the sacrum and hips are staying really even. So if we start really flicking around, we'll be, kind of like rocking the boat here. So we want to keep the boat still, or paddleboard. You're on a paddleboard. It's almost paddleboard weather here. One more each side. And then bring both knees in, interlace the fingers. We're going into our crisscross twist one armpit to opposite knee, straighten the other leg, roll through center, twist the other way. Emphasis on the twist. Follow your eyes. So let your eyes go past one thigh, past the other thigh. Doesn't matter how high you come, or if you get anywhere near your knee. Again, we're on our paddleboard. We want to keep the hips wide and still. Deepen that twist with the exhale. Let's go 2 more each side. Beautiful. Take your preferred recovery pose. Thank you, Mr. Pilates, for the ab series of 5. All right, grab onto the backs of the legs and roll up. I'll have you switch around back into all fours. Find a comfortable position, and you can do this on forearms if that feels better. But I like to really spread my hands and press down. Let's stick one leg out. I have my right leg out. You're gonna just reach into the heel. The toe is down, so hopefully you get like a little waking up in the back of the leg there, the calf. Okay, and then you're gonna hover that leg in line with your body. Most of us tend to turn that hip out, so maybe internally rotate a little bit in the thigh. And I want you to draw a line across the leg that's down, and then make a big rainbow and go to the outside of your mat. You're gonna go across and then outside the mat. And then you're gonna add your head, so your head's gonna follow your foot. So here you go, look at your foot as it crosses, look at your foot as it opens. Look at your foot as it crosses. We're getting a little side to side, a little lateral wake up here. So let your eyes follow your foot the whole time. 3 more. And you don't have to micromanage where your torso is. You can let it shift around. Beautiful. Put that knee back. Take a rest with your, a little circle of the wrist if that feels good. And then we're going to straighten the other leg out. Reach into the heel, a little rock into that heel. Waking up that leg, waking up the hip. You want to think about your hips kind of carrying that bowl of soup at the bottom. Okay, so as you lift your leg, don't spill your soup. Yep, really long through the toes. And we're going to go across. Big rainbow up into the outside. Across. And you can feel how the weight shifts in your hands. So just kind of notice that. It's really interesting how the work moves as your leg moves. Add the eyes. Look at your foot. Look at it open. Crosses a little harder. And then look at it open. Let your torso shift as you need. Feel that kind of wriggling side to side position. We're going to go 3 more. And then hopefully you're not too sick of being on your hands here. You're going to keep those knees right under you. I want you to send your chest in front of your hands and really hug the elbows close to you for a little tricep push-up. So you're going to go front of your hands, hug the elbows, maybe touch the nose, maybe don't, and push the floor away. In front, hug the elbows into your ribs and up. It's like you're pinching your ribs. 3. And push. And 4. And push. And 5. And push. And 6. And push. Beautiful. You're going to lie on your side. Okay, we're going to go into some side lying. Lots of variations here depending on what's comfortable to you. So I like to rest my arm on my bicep here and keep both the bottom leg bent. You're welcome to rest on a pillow or something else. And then I find it's helpful to like hike my hip right up into my rib, feels short, and then send it as far away as possible. Like feeling the opposition of what I'm supposed to do kind of helps my brain. So that far away position is where you're going to stay. You're going to go a little bit behind your body with that leg, but your hip is staying long. Rotate the knee and toes down. So it's behind you, it's internally rotated. And we're just going to lift and lower here. Everything else is really still. So that's like our number one goal, is to keep the torso as quiet and still as we can, keep the hip as long as we can. Good. Bring the leg in front. Your thighs might be parallel. Again, find a long hip. Rotate knee and toes down. We're still internally rotated. Okay, you're going to bend both knees. You're going to turn your feet up. This is what I would like to call clam digger. It's like a version of clam. Your feet are up. You're going to open that knee, and then you're going to flick the clam out. Close. Clam and flick. Heels together, down. Clam, flick. Heels together, down. Beautiful. Get it as far open as you can. That's really the effort here, is that really pressing into like this invisible resistance, which is really just your body. 3. All right. If you're a side sleeper like me, you probably already woke up with some tight hip flexors. So let's go ahead and take our bicycle, bend your knee and hover. Then you're going to extend in front, swing all the way back. And then I like to kick my heel back towards me so I can grab on and give myself a little quad stretch. Okay, we're going to do 3 more like that. Knee in, extend, swing it back, flick, and grab, and forward, swing around and grab. Really tuck your tail into it if you're having trouble finding your stretch. If you're one of those folks who feels naturally loose there too. And then this is your last one. I might have done an extra. Sorry about that. Okay, and then you're going to take this leg and you're going to plant it in front. So straighten the bottom leg. Your top leg, it doesn't have to be perfectly bent. You can also rest it on a pillow. And I want you to lift the bottom straight leg to the sky. I need to counter a little bit with my hand pressing into the mat. So down is not really that valuable. So stay as high up as you can. Lifting up. Yep. Focus on the up. Focus on the up. We're working that inner thigh and maybe even some lower abdominals here. 4, 3. You're going to stay up when you get to 1. Hold it. And we're going to do little tiny pulses as high as you can. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Beautiful. Flip right onto your tummy. All right, let's go right into cactus arms here, or as I call them, skydiving arms. Which I'm not even sure. I've never skydived, so I might not be using that correctly, but eyes are down and you're facing, like my nose is right on the mat. So now I want you to pick up your head and your arms and shoulders. So this is the real, what I imagine a skydiving position is, but your legs stay down. Now release. Lift your head and shoulders. Try to keep those elbows really wide. And release. Lift. And release. And lift and hold. Now we're going to take a little dive with the arms. So keeping your neck long, eyes straight down. Dive your hands forward, breathe in. Exhale, pull the elbows really tight into your waist. Dive the arms forward, breathe in. Exhale, tight to the waist. 4 more. Keep the neck long. Chin is drawn in. 3. And we have 2. And we have 1. Let's plant the elbows down. Open up your chest for single leg kick. Pulling the collarbones apart. I like a pointed foot. Some people like a flexed foot. You're going to pull the heel in towards your bum. 3, 2, 1, and down. Other side. 3, 2, 1, and down. The whole time drawing the forearms backwards to keep your chest in place. 3, 2, 1, and down. Really squeeze, 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 as if you're in a weight room using a hamstring curl here. One more each side. Okay, and then let yourself come all the way down. Adjust your hands to about your shoulders or wherever you like your swan to come from. Okay, we're gonna gently lift the top of your hip bones off by engaging your core. And we're gonna press the floor away. Inhale up. Exhale and melt your body down. Again, keeping that engagement, a little gentle lift of the upper hip bones, press away. Inhale. And exhale, melt down. We're going to keep a really long space between the base of the skull and the shoulders. So it's like you're trying to grow out of the top of your head as you come up. Let's take 2 more. I'm a huge fan, especially again after sleeping on my side with my knees bent all night. To feel a nice stretch in your front from all the core work we did. Good. And then if it feels good to you to counter, walk your hands back a little farther, and you can either just take a big cat, you're rounding up and tucking your tail, that's my fave, or you can take it back into a child's pose. Whatever you're doing, I want you to find length and opposition in your back. And then let's swing the body around to do our side lying legs on the other side. And we're going to rest your arm or your head however you like. Pull your straight leg away, and then we're going to again find the shortest space between the hip and the rib, and then the longest space. It's easier for me on this side. You may have one side that's easier to find that. And then rotate knee and toes down and keep your leg behind your body. We're going to lift and lower. Keeping everything else still. I feel like this is one of those movements people see Pilates classes doing, and they're like, oh, so Pilates is just like, napping, just lying down. They have no idea how uncomfortable this can be. And then go ahead, swing the leg forward. Maybe your thighs are parallel, come about 45. Still rotating knee and toes down. Still a deep hip crease, butt is back, and we're gonna lift and lower here. Okay, we're gonna take our clam digger. So when your knees are bent, heels are together, and you're going to tip your knees down, heels up. We're going to open the knee, that's our clamshell, and then flick the clam away. Put the knee down. Open, flick, connect, close. Everything else is really still, working to keep that torso still. The effort is really on how far you can open that knee to the ceiling. That extra inch probably takes an extra 40% of effort. Let's take 3 more. Good. And rest. Let's do our bicycle plus quad stretch. We're going to hover here, extend, drag that leg long and back, flick the heel back, grab on, tuck your tail into a stretch, and knee, extend, sweep, and back. Really pull and give yourself a second in that stretch. Take what you need in that stretch. 3. Good. And 4. While you're doing the actual bicycle, torso is still. You may have to adjust to get your hand on your foot. And then last one. Great. And then you're going to plant that foot in front. Bottom leg goes straight. You can also rest down on a pillow. We're going to really reach through the heel. I like a flex foot, and you're going to lift and lower this leg, but the lower is very small, right? You're not touching the floor. Really focus on pressing up into space, drawing your core in. I like that position of the hand in front if that helps you. Press up to the top, and we're going to pulse, pulse, pulse to the sky. As high as you can. Keep lifting. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful. Okay, let's go right into mermaid. So what I want you to do is you're going to take your knees back to bent, and then let your top knee glide behind you a little bit, and then push yourself up. And it should put you right into your 90-90 position here. And then get a second to be acclimated. So I like to kind of wiggle around and kind of feel, I mean, obviously you're a little cockeyed between your two sitting bones, so just figure out where you can feel balance. Okay, and then whichever knee you have in front, in my case, it's my right knee, you're gonna take the same arm out to the side. If it feels good, go all the way to the elbow. Reach up and over, and let's hold it here for a second. Really press your ribs into the ceiling and fill them with air. Feel how that kind of makes the stretch more meaningful. Fill it out. Come back. And then we're going to take a little counter to the other side. We're going to close what we just stretched. And we're going to go again. Reach. Sink the elbow up and over. Take a big breath into the ribs. And then come back the other way. Now I want you to fold your whole body forward. You may decide you like going straight forward. You may decide, in fact, you enjoy turning towards the knee, which will go a little bit more into your hip muscles, which we worked in the side lying series. As you have a little compression in the front of your body, it can be a panicky feeling. So let's see if we can find additional space in the back of the ribs. As you breathe in, can you sort of visualize the space between your shoulder blades expanding with you? We want to make sure that we can breathe into all areas of the lungs and the ribs and the back, etc. One more breath. Maybe you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. And then press yourself up with your hands. We're going to switch the knees the other way. Again, taking a moment to find a settled feeling in between the sitting bones, letting the pelvic floor relax. And then we're going to take those two stretches to the side. So whichever knee's in front, take the same hand, glide all the way to the elbow. Reach up and over, rainbow your ribs up to the ceiling, and we're going to breathe into them. Here we go. Inhale. You can picture like flaring your rib cage to the ceiling, and exhale. And then come up, and we're going to close that space. A little balance. Other way. Glide. Flare your ribs to the ceiling with the breath in. Release it out. Come up and counter. And then go ahead and fold your body forward, whether straight forward or towards your hip that you were working before. And then in this direction, again, we're going to explore what space we have available in the back body for breathing. The breath is one of the most powerful mobility tools that we have because it touches so many parts of the body. Maybe you sink into your stretch a little more. And then push yourself up. And we're going to finish with our usual kind of runner's lunge here. So feel free to roll your mat underneath you if you have a sensitive knee. And then put one foot forward. Tuck the tail. And give yourself that gentle hinge. Open up the hip here, and if it feels meaningful and valuable, you can add the arms up to the ceiling. You might even decide a tip over towards the bent knee is helpful, meaningful. Using the breath. We come back to center, clasp the hands behind you, open your chest to the ceiling, and then if it's available, explore a deep ankle flexion in the front leg. We don't often put ourselves in this situation. We want to keep that nice deep flexibility. And come back to center. Adjust yourself to the other side. Square your sitting bones off to the floor. Tuck the tail and lean. If it feels good to you, you can add your arms, no requirement here. And same thing, you can also add a tip if that feels good. Send your breath to wherever feels tight. Find your center. Clasp and open the chest and shoulders. And explore a deep ankle bend on this front foot. And then push yourself back. We're going to set up in either a kneeling or a seated position, just to close here. So if it feels good to you, you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze. We're going to roll the shoulders. Pick the shoulders up to the ears. On the inhale, exhale, let them roll down the back like water. And then just kind of check in with yourself. Take a little internal body scan. See how you feel now compared to when you first started moving this morning. And then if you like the visualization I like to use of packing up whatever stuff I've been carrying that's not helpful to me, usually other people's stuff, I'm going to fill my suitcases here. Feel free to fill your suitcases. Pick up those heavy suitcases, squeeze the knuckles, squeeze the shoulders up to the ears, so heavy, so full of other people's weighted guilt and shame and garbage. We're going to roll the shoulders back. Luckily, there's a cliff right behind us. So we're just going to exhale and drop them. And away they go. And another shoulder roll. And then we're going to take a great big breath with the arms and fill up the space that's left with gratitude, appreciation for your amazing body, and awe for showing up for yourself today, which is in itself an achievement. And a big exhale. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for coming.